Dharma Prabhu ki
Jaya Radha Madhavam Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhavam Kunja Bihari Gopi Chanda Ballabha Giridharadhari Gopi Chanda Ballabha Giridharadhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading today from Srimad-bhagavatam, 9th Canto, 12th chapter. Actually, we have several verses, from verse 7 to 16. Actually, this chapter is very short. 16. It only has 16 verses, and there's no purports for the rest of the chapter. So we'll read and we'll take it from there. So we'll chant.
Сегодня у нас 12 глава, 7 стих, и там много стихов, они без комментариев, с 7 по 17, такая вот короткая глава,
So we'll chant the Sanskrit for verse 7. Tasmat prasush Tasmat prasush utastasha Sandhistashabhyam Sandis Tashabya Shanaha Mahaswanstat Sutras Tasman Vishwabahur Ajayata Tasmat Prasushuddhastasya Sandhistashabhyamar Shanaha Mahaswanstat Vishvabahur Ajayata Tasmat Prasushuddhastasya Sandhistashabhyamar Shanaha Mahaswanstat Vishvabahur Ajayata Tasmat Prasushuddhastasya Sandhistashabhyama 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 Mahaswanstat Vishvabahur Ajayata Tasmat Prasushuddhastasya Sandhistashabhyama Shanaha Mahaswanstat Vishvabahur Ajayata Word synonyms. Tasmat from Maru. Prasushruta is son. Tasha of Prasushruta. Sandhi a son named Sandi. Tasha, his Sandis. Api, also. Amarshanaha, a son named Amarshana. Mahasvan, the son of Amarshana. Tat, his. Sutaha, son. Tasmat, from him. Mahasvan. Vishvabahu. Ajayata took birth. From Mara was born a son named Prasashuta. Prasashuta came Sandi. From Sandi came Amarshana, and from Amarshana a son named Mahaswam. From Mahaswam, Vishvabahu took his birth. There's no purport, so we'll go on to the next verse. There's several verses. From Vishvabahu came a son named Prasenajit. Prasenajit came Takshaka, and from Takshaka came Brihadbala, who was killed in a fight by your father. All these kings in the dynasty of Ikshwaku have passed away. Now please listen as I describe the kings who will be born in the future. From Brihadbala will come Brihadrana.
Все эти цари династии Икшваку покинули семью, а теперь расскажу тебе о будущих правителях. После Брихадбалы царем станет сын по имени Брихадрана.
The son of Brihadrana will be Urukriya, who will have a son named Vatsavrita. Vatsavrita will have a son named Prativyoma. And Prativyoma will have a son named Banu, from whom Vivaka, the great commander of soldiers, will take birth.
Брихадрана родился сын по имени Урукрия, а сыном Урукрии будет Ватсаврита. Ватсаврита будет сын по имени Пратильона, а Пратильон Бана, которого родится Вивака.
Thereafter, from Vivaka will come a son named Sahadev, and from Sahadev a great hero named Brihadashva. From Brihadashva will come Banuman, and from Banuman will come Pratikashva. The son of Pratikashva will be Supratika.
Сыном Виваки будет Сахадева, а сыном Сахадевы будет Брихадаша. От Брихадаши родится Вануван, Вануван Брихадаша. Сыном Брихадаши станет
Translation. Thereafter, the Supratika will come from Marudev, from Marudev, Sunachata, from Thereafter, from Supratika will come Marudeva. From Marudeva, Sunachatra, from Sunachatra, Pushkar, and from Pushkar, Antariksha. The son of Antariksha will be Sutapa, and his son will be Amit Rajat.
Ситуативно произведет на свет Марудева. Марудева Сунакшата. Сунакшата Паскур, а Паскура Антарикша. Антарикша будет Сутап. Сутап Амитмити.
From Amit Rajat will come his son named Brihadraja, and Brihadraja will come from Brihadraja will come Barhi, and from Barhi will come Kritanjaya. The son of Kritanjaya will be known as Rananjaya, and from him will come a son named Sanjaya.
Амитмити будет сын по имени Бурикадраджа. Бурикадраджа Бархи. Бархи Кританджая. А стал Кританджая Сананджая. Сананджая Санджая.
From Sanjaya will come Shakya, and from Shakya will come Shudhoda, and from Shudhoda will come Langala. From Langala will come Prasenajit, and from Prasenajit, Shudraksha.
Санджая будет сын по имени Исаки. Исаки Шудхода. И Шудхода Лангала. Лангала Прасинадрита. Прасинадрита Шудраджа.
From Shudraksha will come Ranika, and Ranika will come from Saratha, and Saratha will come Sumitra, ending the dynasty. This is a description of the dynasty of Brihad Bala.
Сыном Сараки будет Ранака. Сыном Ранаки Сурапрака. И Сурапрака Сумитра. На этом у нас Ранака будет.
The last king of the dynasty of Ikshwaka will be Sumitra. After Sumitra, there will be no more sons in the dynasty of the Sangha, and thus the dynasty will end.
Последний царь династии Икшваков станет Сумитра. Не будет потом. Поэтому на нем династия Бога Солнца образуется.
There's no, it says purport, but there's no real purport. It's the end of the chapter. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 9th canto, 12th chapter of the Srimad-bhagavatam, entitled The Dynasty of Kusa, the son of Lord Ramacandra.
Так заканчивается комментарий Бхактивиданты, 12-10, 10 потом Куса, сына Господа Рамачандра.
Omajana Samananda Shagana Jana Shalakaya Takshurun Minitamina Tasmai Shri. So normally there's the etiquette is that the acharyas didn't make any comment, they write a purport or commentary that we also don't interpret. So yes, so normally we don't, but there are some things that Srila Prabhupada has commented on other places, so we'll mention. Especially, I'm appreciating these last several verses Uh, the Srimad-bhagavatam, the Puranas in general, are called, in Sanskrit, they're called itihasa.
Srimad-bhagavatam
Itihasa means defined to mean basically history. So the Srimad-bhagavatam is our histories. The Puranas in general are histories. So of course, if we were in school, we would be studying some kind of history, American history, world history, this history, that history, depending on where we are. But their history means what happened in the past. It's historic. It's something that's already happened. Now we're just studying it now. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is not some ordinary history. Because these last several verses, it says, one verse says, okay, I've given the names of the members of these previous dynasties in the past. Now I will give the information about who's going to come in the future. So that means, in the Vedas well, the Vedas are perfect. And of course, they ultimately come from Lord Krishna. He's the source of all the Vedas. So if the self-realized soul, of course, is in connection with Krishna, so they can make these kind of statements. Should make these kind of statements. The same way that the certain self-realized souls have made predictions about things which you would never believe could happen. Just like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur made some predictions. Predictions about how he was thinking in terms of Mayapur, which was not developed into anything at the time. He was thinking the time will come that the people from all the different countries of the world would come to that place and chant the holy names of the Lord. He also predicted that some personality would come. But this is writing too. This is in his book called the Sri Chaitanya and his life and precepts. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life and precepts. And that also obviously happened. That specific personality was obviously Srila Prabhupada, who came and who spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And it was actually the same year that Srila Prabhupada was born. Now that was the year when this was written and published, that is, in this book, 1896. So here in these last several verses, Srila Sukadeva Goswami is saying, okay, I've already told you the history of so many people who have come from them in the past. Now here's a list of who will be their son, and who will be the son of that person, who will be the son of that person, who will be the son of that person. Maybe another 10 or 12 generations in the future. So of course the people in general will say, well, anyone could make up names and say anything. You can't prove that. Right? Yeah, they can say like that, but those who have some faith in the process and the faith in the Vedas, to say the Vedas say this, the acharyas who know the Vedas, they can say this, and it's a fact that whatever we read in the Srimad-bhagavatam, we can understand this is fact. Said that this process is called the nectar devotion. Actually, says the process of Krishna consciousness is actually he calls the process of Krishna consciousness the science of Bhakti Yoga. Science. So science, what is a science? When you look at the material science as it's understood out in the material world, what is science there? Back when I was in school, back then, we taught it was called the scientific method. And scientific method simply meant that you get some idea, you create some theory based on your idea, you develop. You get some ideas, something that you want to understand, and you make a theory that this is that. If I put hydrogen and oxygen together in a certain way, it can create water, for example. So, and then somebody experiments and sees it's the same results. Somebody else experiments and sees it's the same results. And there are many who experiment following those procedures, and they all see that they get the same result. Then they call this is science, scientific fact. So the same way, the science of self-realization or the science of Bhakti Yoga is the same general principle.
not this.
Only difference is that we simply accept it as fact without having to go through and experiment with it.
И когда мы подходим к этому эксперименту, то мы понимаем, что это есть главное.
But actually we do experiment with it in a sense. We have a little faith to take up the path of Krishna consciousness. We try to chant Hare Krishna, try to follow the program a little bit, and we should have some direct perception of some kind of results.
И если мы пойдем для этого Hare Krishna, уже изучим какую-то работу, то узнавая знания, мы видим всех конфликтов, которые
So we can hear, we won't call it a theory, but we can hear that it is stated in the beginning that, okay, if you chant Hare Krishna mantra and you give up your sinful activities, then you'll feel good.
И таким образом, следуя научному процессу, выполняя, мы получим хороший результат.
So we hear that, but then the real test is we have to experience it, otherwise we cannot stay on the path.
И настоящий эксперимент, когда мы будем получать какой-то опыт,
And if we follow the process properly, and that means also in the right consciousness, then in due course we will have personal direct realization, direct perception that I'm giving up material desires and I'm becoming more Krishna conscious.
И выбирать таким образом, выполняя все эти методы, мы будем сами собой
So in that way we gradually develop the faith in the things which we cannot perceive directly. So, we just hear it, we learn it from faith knowledge.
И когда мы будем понимать, постепенно наше понимание будет усиливаться и
Just like this person that was mentioned in the first verse today, Mara. Mara is that personality is still living, according to Srimad-bhagavatam. And he will continue to live at least until the end of Kali Yuga. And the Srimad-bhagavatam states that when he, at the end of Kali Yuga, after Kalki Avatar comes and kills most of the people because they were too sinful, then everything Kali Yuga transforms into Satya Yuga again. Because we were just reading that one of the last couple of verses here today, and we're just reading that after a certain generation, that dynasty ended. And that dynasty happens to be from the sun god. But this person Mara, at the end of Kali Yuga, after Kalki Avatar has come and killed all the sinful people, then he will beget a son. His like 432,000 years from now, or 427,000 years from now, 32,000 years from what is written. So he'll beget a son, and that son will continue this dynasty from the sun god. And in that way, and then I'm sure there are other personalities who will be active in that way too, but we haven't read about them here. There's one other personality that I know of, because it's also mentioned in the 12th Canto, Srimad-bhagavatam. I don't know his name though, but he will stated there that he also is alive somewhere, and it mentions the town that he's in actually, and he'll be here, he'll remain there and remain alive at the end of Kali Yuga, and the Kalki Avatar will be his son. So like that, and then the whole thing will transform into Satya Yuga after the Kalki Avatar kills off all the sinful people. And it's interesting, as far as Kalki Avatar goes, we have a knowledge of this in the Srimad-bhagavatam. But the Lord will go riding on a white horse, it says, and he'll with a sword, and he'll be killing all these people. But there's also a mention of some personality, God, appearing in the Christian Bible. There's also mention of a I think he's referring to God, I don't know who else, who would come also riding on a white horse and killing people in the future. Like this. So if we can develop, by practicing Krishna consciousness, if we can develop firm faith in the Vedic knowledge, and the knowledge from the Vedas and from the purports of Srila Prabhupada and the other acharyas, we can develop that firm faith in this, then Krishna consciousness becomes very easy. And also the Srimad-bhagavatam becomes very more relishable, because it's not just a storybook. It is actually fact. It's actually fact history that we're learning from the Srimad-bhagavatam. Anyway, those are a couple of points on these verses today. Any questions, comments? Anyone? Yes.
Can I ask a question concerning
Deities? Yeah.
I wanted to ask one time ago, why, for example, we wake up to deities starting from senior till in position. position. I mean, first of all, start.
Oh, why do we wake them up?
When we do something to Krishna, then we're gonna go to Bhagavatam, then go inside.
Yes.
It's something order, with some order.
Yes.
But when we come to there, we make it on the contrary.
We should wake them. We should wake up starting with the spiritual master.
Yes. Why?
Why? Because and it's just because the spiritual master needs to be awake because he's serving Krishna. So you wake up the spiritual master, and then you wake up Gornitai, and then it's just the opposite. But because the servant needs to be awake to serve the master, and then the putting the deities to sleep at night is just the opposite. Krishna goes to sleep first, and he wakes up last. See? Because you ask Krishna to sleep, but those who are serving him have to be awake to serve. And then you go all the way down to the spiritual masters, who are devotees and servants of the Lord, and ask them to sleep. And then after everyone else here is sleeping, then we can sleep, or finish our duties and sleep. That's the idea. Any other questions? Okay, then we'll end for today. Tomorrow we'll start with chapter 13 of the Srimad-bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.